Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Digital Media Sync at Known Live. We are continuing our dive into Google Analytics, and we are getting deeper and deeper into the platform and the applications. So just to recap what we've been doing, the first week that we did Google Analytics, we actually just talked about a regular dashboard or report, just very simple, going right into Google Analytics and looking what is offered, which is just basic information like users, where they're from geographically, and other just little tidbits of information. The second week of Google Analytics at Digital Media Sync, we talked about the menu on the left-hand side, which was a lot of, oh, I have a guest. Hold on just a moment. Good morning.
Good morning, Julia.
I like this a lot better. I'm used to having, so I just want to back up a little bit. We're used to having a conversation as opposed to me just kind of broadcasting to the world. So Chris Tonsky of Fusion Design has been kind enough to join me, and anybody else who wants to join up on StreamYard can actually grab the link from the Digital Media Sync group. So there's a Digital Media Sync group where I post what we're going to be doing for the week and any kind of random things about social media or communications or anything like that. Anybody can do that. So Chris, you've been with me through the past couple of these. Well, actually a bunch of them, but specifically Google Analytics.
Right.
Yeah. So we were just kind of going over what we've been talking about, and we basically stuck within the Google Analytics realm and not so much other tools that can be used. So we're looking at reporting tools now. And hopefully this is a softball question. I'm going to ask you first as when you were thinking about reporting, what are some things that you're thinking about? And anybody who's in the audience, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to post questions or comments, and I can pick them up in the comment section, I hope. But yeah, so when you're thinking about reporting, what do you usually, what's your go-to, I guess? Reporting, like doing a report, analytics report.
Yeah, well, the three big ones, bounce rate, amount of time per page, and which are the top pages.
Yeah, okay, and so those are really good ones. And people also think about other things as well. And it depends on how deep you want to dive and what your purpose is. So if you're looking at bounce rate and pages, you're basically looking at what are people thinking about, and where are they going? How long are they staying on the page? Is the information that they're getting valuable to them? Will they come back? That sort of thing. There's e-commerce sites as well, so they're thinking about sales. And all those things are important for sales as well. And then in addition, conversions and revenue and what the KPI is and that sort of thing. So these are all things that people are thinking about when they're thinking about reporting. I have a colleague as well who's thinking about, from the SEO perspective, is how they're doing SEO working for them. And also site speed is another really great one. So these are all one-off type of reports. And I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into what some other reports look like. And luckily, because I'm not as technically savvy, there's an easy way to do this, and Google has provided it, and it's Data Studio. So Data Studio is free, it's simple, it has templates, and it actually just provided a new component, which is, here we go, a tutorial report. So I'm not going to go through the tutorial report just because it's going to be boring and you're not really going to be able to see anything. But I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it into Facebook. No, I'm not. I'm going to put it into StreamYard and I'm going to post it there. Anybody who's not watching at the moment will actually have this up on the Known Co-working site, and I'll put the link to that as well. So I'm just going to show that right here. So you don't even need all the gibberish. It's just datastudio.google.com. And if I go back there, it gives you a full list of content. So how to interact with the report, copy and edit a report. So there's lots of templates in here that you can work with. This is one of my favorite ones because I do a lot of Facebook advertising. So this is one that I can very quickly and easily copy. And it's just very specifically Facebook ads with the Google Analytics as well.
So, Julia, I'm sure you're going to get into this, but this is provided you have Google Analytics hooked up to your website.
Correct. Whoops.
Facebook, and then you have to sell the Data Studio, or it just starts picking this up?
Data Studio starts picking it up. So basically, when you're connected to, when your Google Analytics is connected to your website, when you go into Data Studio and you link to your Google Analytics and your Google AdWords and other components, it starts bringing in all of the information that you're looking for. So I don't know why this particular one. I'm going to try another one. This is another overview of Google Analytics. So this is usually easy because people have already designed the report and posted it up as a as an option for in order to be used. So it makes it very easy to utilize.
So it's not as daunting as analytics to maybe.
Yeah. And it's prettier, so to speak. You know, it's easy to view. It's often in tables already set up really nicely instead of loads and loads of data that you have to sift through and look for. When you're building your own report in Data Studio, that's still a little bit daunting. So I try not to do that as often. But a lot of times they do have to be built out, and there's really nothing that you can do about that. Okay, so I'm going to switch up views because it looks like it's staying on one particular view right now. And I am going to go over to one of the sample reports. I was looking at some other resources as well, and HubSpot actually in 2019 provided a very interesting and helpful guide to the types of reports and why to use Data Studio reports. So I'm going to switch Chrome tabs. And if anybody else is out there, say hi. I gave a couple of other people links to the studio so they could come in. So this is another example. This is all Data Studio and already a report that's already been generated. And you can just copy it, make a copy of this report, and start including your own data. So here's these are things that we had talked about in the past couple of weeks, your default channel grouping. So how people are finding you, either organic search, referral, social like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, paid search, which is your Google ads, display, which is your Google ads that are in Google Partners. And those are image ads. If there were YouTube ads would be broken out as a separate component as well.
Like you would have to tell it you are advertising on YouTube.
Correct. Yeah. So if you connect to your Google advertising, if you share the resource with Data Studio, it will automatically pull that information in. Yeah, so Google Studio actually works with a lot of partners and integrations. So, all right, Lance said, hey, thank you for saying, hey, Lance. Lance, can you tell me either post in the comments or if you want to pop in and say hi, some of the ways that you use reports and how you use Google Analytics reports, and if you have ever used Data Studio. So there's other reporting platforms as well. One that I would use a lot for social and have brought in Google Analytics is Sprout Social, and that's sproutsocial.com. Another one is reportgarden.com. Hootsuite does reporting as well. But I try to stay within the same suite of tools. So if I'm doing Google Analytics and Google AdWords and utilizing the Google Business Suite, I'll use the Data Studio. And right now, it's actually quite powerful as a freemium. And I've run into very few problems as far as bringing items in.
Julia, this is show your clients in this type of view, or would you send PDF?
Yeah, so you can share this as a link, and you can also download it as a PDF as well. And you can also white label it. So you can put your logo on the report. You can add text as well. So you can make it very easy to understand and to view for your client. So you can, take your report and say, instead of it being just sessions and then the number of sessions, you can say, this is how many people viewed your website this week. And if you're doing a comparison week over week or month over month, you can actually throw text in there that says, you've increased your viewership by X amount. This is what it looks like from a data perspective. So you can make the report very conversational.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll show everybody what a conversational report looks like, because there actually is one. So I'm going to pop out of there. Look, we're up big now. I have to say, usually we're in a roundtable type of situation where we're all kind of talking together. So I'm kind of like in my professorial mode right now. So if I go back into the Data Studio in just one moment. Oh, this is a good one. I know Rebecca's in there. I'm sure Rebecca wants to ask me what about a couple of specific type of reports. Okay, so Lance says, no, never really use Data Studio. I use Google Analytics to see my site traffic is going up or down as a barometer. Cool, okay. I usually have a checklist when I'm working with my clients as far as what type of information they should have or want to have. And then when I'm working with partners, as we're looking at how the website is working. So if a page is not, I know last week we were talking about what happens if a page is not loading correctly, or the SEO is not working, or something is broken. And one of the things that Google Analytics does provide is a little tab called Insights. So when you jump into Google Analytics, there will be a section in the top right-hand corner that you can pull down. It will give you information about how that website is doing. If there's any problems, it'll kind of red flag things for you. So that's another component of Google Analytics specifically that is very helpful.
I missed that question. Did someone ask about Search Console? My volume went out. What were you?
Oh, yeah, no, I was just saying that that was one of the components, was the Search Console report. So I can actually bring that up as well.
Yes, me as a web, front end person, I'm mostly using Search Console. But Data Studio is fascinating.
So this is what a Search Console looks like. And again, one of my favorite things to look at, and it's white label. Rebecca just said, love the white label. Yeah, that's huge, to just be able to gather all the components, drag and drop it, throw your logo in there, and be able to have a conversation on the particular report about what is going on in the report. And there's a couple of very easy ways to share it as well. So I'm going to go back over to the Search Console. And again, this is very simple reporting: number of impressions, number of clicks, the landing pages. This is something that's very important to me, especially at the moment. I'm working with an e-commerce client, and we have a few landing pages that we're keeping an eye on. So the website is broken up into categories based on what people want to shop. And we go directly to the landing page portion of the report to take a look at where people are starting and then where they end up as well. So usually there's a landing page and an exit page. So what my report would look like is this section would be landing page and the next section would be exit page. And what we'd like to see the exit page be is the checkout. So we're looking at cart, checkout, that sort of thing. This is another very useful piece of information, and it's the search query. So this particular search query is kind of boring because it's a Google template and it's based on Google keywords or Google queries. Most queries would be much broader and much wider. So in this case, it would say backpack. So I would say queries being hiking shoes, running shoes, sneakers, water bottles, backpacks, a specific type of backpack. And the search queries are getting, I'm sure Chris and Rebecca and Lance, you probably know the search queries are getting much more complex as well. So if somebody wants purple running shoes or waterproof hiking sneakers, low rise or mid rise or something like that, that query is going to come up as an option.
So say purple running shoes is the biggest hit or most searched term for that website. What would you do then?
I would be very happy because I love purple running shoes. I think that's great. But yeah, I would do a few things. I would think of a few things, right? One is that particular page, well, let's say like it's Merrill running shoes, that particular product may be very popular for a reason. I would be happy about that, but I know that that's not going to make or break my store. But some of the things that I would be very careful of is if people are landing on that page, purple running shoes page, and they are not buying the purple running shoes, nor are they buying something else, I'd want to know why that is. Is there something in the process that is stopping or slowing things down? So I'd actually look at what the behavior flow looks like. If there's any pages that are not working, that are loading slowly, look for those sort of things. But yeah, good question. I'm going to post this up here. If you love the white label, and I love the white label too. So I don't know when people came in, but I wanted to pop back over to the templates. Rebecca, do you use Data Studio at all? I know Rebecca uses a lot of different tools when she's looking at data. And it's interesting because people look at different types of data. You want to see how particular blog posts are doing. You want to, you want to increase sales. You want to see if there's particular downloads or uploads. In this case, when this video is over and it resides on the known co-working website, I want to know how many people are going over to the video. So I want to see how many new users there are, and I want to see how many return users there are. Because what I want to see is this information valuable? Is it helpful? Are people watching all the way through, or are they skipping around? Is it a 3-second view? Is it a 10-second view? That sort of thing. So there's all sorts of data that people want to look at. So I think in the very first thing, what we've been talking about in the first couple of weeks, and I'll reiterate today, is really having an understanding of what you want your website to do and that will help build your report. And it may be a bunch of different things. So if I were doing advertising to a website, I'd want to make sure that I'd have everything in place so that I can see how that advertising is working. And if I'm doing that for a client, I want to distill that information in an understandable manner. I want them to see in a very quick snapshot with concise information and explanation about what is going on with their site and how it's working for them and how it can be better. So I'm going to go back over to some of the things that are available. Oh, it's up. Great. This is perfect. Oh, okay. So Rick came in and he asked a question, and his question is, what data sources do you think are best to use in Data Studio, for example, for DMS? Yeah, so this report would actually be a report that brings in a lot of different components. So I would want to know several things that lead up to a goal, and it's a process. So the process right now is I am on Facebook. DMS Digital Media is on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So the two data points that I would be looking at are views on Facebook and views in YouTube. And not only that, I'd be looking at views, at comments, at shares. What do all those things look like? Then I would see where that leads to, right? And my hope is that this is going to lead to the website. Once I'm on the website, again, I'm going to look at views, how long people are on the page. So that's something that would be in the Data Studio as well. So length of video views. Then I'm going to look at where are people going, right? Because if they leave the video, are they leaving? And is the video page an exit page? We don't want the video page to be an exit page. We want people to explore the rest of the site. So if on that page there is a sign up box or button, I want to make sure that people are clicking on the sign up box. Or if they're viewing for more events, if they're going to the next page that shows what the next digital media sync or the next online event is going to be. I want to see if they go to the about page. So that would be my landing pages view. So I would be looking at views on social, specifically Facebook and YouTube. And then I would be looking at landing page views, exit page views, and I would also be looking at the timing of how long people are staying on the video, if they're jumping off the video, if they're jumping off the video to go elsewhere in the website, or if they're just completely leaving. So those are all the items. So you see there's a process there, and every process would be different. And I'm saying good morning to Juan. Does Juan have any questions about analytics and specifically Data Studio? And the great thing about Data Studio is once you pull all of your reporting in and you pull it into a page, or it can be a couple of pages, it stays there and it gathers the data in real time. And you can set aside the Google Analytics piece, which is a lot of slogging through. And I saw Rebecca, and if you don't mind me putting that up, slogging through analytics. And that's really what it looks like too when you're going through analytics. I can put analytics back up. Analytics is a beautiful piece of machinery, but it takes a lot of work to get to the information that you need. And they have, whole lessons and classes and certifications to get through Google Analytics. That's how robust it is. And it is. It's a robust piece of machinery. So Rick, I hope I answered your question. Chris, did you have any more questions?
Oh, I'm excited to see the conversational report.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. Thank you for reminding me about the conversational report. So I'm going to pop over here. And so I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. These are all of the reports. You can see they're called owned by anyone. So these are reports that were built and they were provided by different owners as templates that we could actually use. I'm going to go to this report here. And it's going to take a little moment. So this report has several pages. First and foremost. And those pages are labeled along the side. So here's the Google search performance, keywords and competitors, organic search performance, site acquisition report, SEO Quick Win. So this is a good one. The SEO Quick Wins is just a really quick hit. So if I'm handing this to somebody who has other tasks and not a lot of time, and they're saying, how is my SEO working? Well, that's not the one, actually. That's not the one I wanted. Let's go to Google search performance, because that was conversational. It's asking the questions. How often are we showing up in Google search results? What device are people using to find us in Google search? So in this case, it's a lot of mobile, almost equal amount of desktop, not a lot of tablet. This is good to know. The past couple of weeks we talked about this because we want to know, we want to make sure that that the site is working on the mobile device and people are able to get the information that they need. So if we're saying what device are people using to find us in Google search, the next question really is, for a web person or a marketer is, are they able to find the things that they want once they find us on mobile search? Are they going to where they need to go to? Are they completing their task? Are they feeling happy about how that's going? This is what search queries are serving us up and driving traffic. Again, so this is very, very specific. When do we go back to school? When is spring break? Private schools in New York City. So you can see that there's a lot of information going on here. This is another very helpful piece, keywords and competitors. How are we performing against our competitors? So here's a list of the competitors, some of the words, and then what the keyword rankings are. That's something that's very important to this particular organization and client. Who are our organic search visitors? The male to female ratio, the age groups. Again, this was something that we had talked about previously. Right now we're looking at parents or maybe grandparents of small children. So we want to make sure that we're hitting the right age groups.
Julia?
Yeah.
How does Google know the gender of the person viewing your page or site?
Yeah, sometimes Google doesn't know what it is. So it's basically information that is provided or available. So if you're doing like an incognito search or something like that, that information is not going to be provided.
So it's someone
But
that's
if
logged.
you're entering your information into a Google product or another product, then it's picking up that information.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
So a lot of times you'll see in gender or age that there's something called not set, and that number, that percentage could be a large percentage or a small percentage, and oftentimes that's just going to stay at not set because that information is not provided, it's being hidden, or somebody's using a different type of a browser. Some of the not set information, we had talked about this last week, some of the not set information is available. Something like, if somebody's using Facebook ads or email. So another thing I really wanted to jump in with really quickly is with Data Studio, you're also able to get information from other resources
Yeah.
as well. It's a little bit more difficult and it has a few more steps. So here's your usual reports. And then you have something called data sources. So these are all, I'm going to go through this very quickly. These are all my data sources that I've pulled up and I've been able to grab. So if I'm creating a data source, and I don't want to scare anybody, here are your Google connectors where you get your data sources from. So you have Google Analytics, and any Google Analytics that you are connected to, you can pull that information. So I can pull from any of these particular components. Google Ads. You can also grab from Google Sheets as well. So if you have a particular data set that's elsewhere, you can grab that from Google Sheets as long as it has clear headers and pull it in and make a report out of it. So it could be a table, it could be a graph, it could be a pie chart.
Anything. So
Yeah.
any spreadsheet you can feed into this thing.
Any Google spreadsheet that has clear headers and information, then you can pull that in as well. And there's also partner sites as well. So here's your YouTube analytics. So this is definitely something Rick had a question about what I would utilize in a Data Studio report. And because I have YouTube, I'm on the YouTube channel, I would pull in the YouTube analytics in this case. So something like a Facebook, if I were doing Facebook ads, I would have to pull down the information from Facebook in a CSV file, throw it into Google Sheets, name it, and pull that information from there. Or if I'm talking about, views on this particular Facebook video, I would have to do the same thing, where I would have to pull the information, put it into a Google Sheet because Google works mostly with Google, and drop it down from that particular, same with Twitter, same with Instagram. So it's possible to get the information, and it's a one-time piece, and then once you bring it in, it starts gathering that data on a consistent basis for you. Yeah. So if anybody has any other questions about Data Studio, I can take those questions. So Chris, have you gotten any ideas in your head about what this may be used for, or anybody in the audience as well, if you want to pop a note in the questions about if this has provided you with any ideas about how you'd like to organize a report.
Yeah, I would definitely use this conversational one that you're showing me to some of my clients who don't understand the analytics.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think for us, for those of us who are in marketing or doing, have completed a web design and want to make sure that it works, or managing a website of some sort, um, it's it's great. Google Analytics is great, and you can really go in and dive in and grab the information. But at some point, there's an endpoint, and oftentimes that endpoint, you want to gather up all your data and you want to make it very succinct, very concise, and really tell a story very quickly about how this particular website or a campaign, an advertising campaign is working, or an organic campaign is working. So from start to finish, really thinking about what your client wants the website to do. And sometimes you're going to need, you may need to help out a little bit about that, because there's certain things that's like, oh, okay, I really didn't think about that. If somebody's blogging once or twice a week or once a month, and they want their blogs to have a particular outcome, whether it's like, I just wanted to read the blog and then I want them to sign up for the newsletter, or I want them to stay on my site and eventually buy something, or eventually engage me for a service. We want to be able to let them know how that is working for them, and what are some things that can be done to enhance that engagement and provide the results that they want. So every report is probably going to look a little different. And then there's back-end reports that are really helpful to those of us who are doing particular management jobs. So somebody who is managing a website as far as functionality is going to want to look at reports differently than somebody who is strictly doing ad campaigns. So I may have a report here that's all the ad campaigns that I've been doing. So if I'm doing a Facebook ad campaign, a Google ad campaign, an Instagram, and a Pinterest, that's what my report is going to look like. So it could look very, very technical, or it could look very, very much like a marketing or an advertising report.
The keywords and competitors, is that contingent on a paid campaign? Or if you're not even paying, you would get a list of those items?
So the keywords and competitors, yeah, that comes from a couple of different sources. The regular keywords can come directly from the website. And then again, there's also a whole list of, you can either pull in competitor information and put it on a Google Sheet, or upload a file, like a CSV file of some sort. Yeah, oftentimes you have to tell. Oh, and then there's partner connectors. Hold on, I think I'm not showing this on StreamYard right now. So I'm going to switch over to this particular site. Because there's something called partner connectors. I'm going to stop this and go over to a new screen. Yeah, so as I'm doing this, Rebecca just said, so you're saying that Data Studio could help me be more efficient with customized reports? Yes. You could have a whole list of lovely customized reports as well. I'm just going to jump back into the share screen because this is really cool. And I'm on my last 15 minutes, so I want to make sure that I get it in there. The one that's called Untitled Report. Okay. Got it. So this, you have your build your own connectors, and then you have all these products. So there's Facebook ads, which I don't know if you can read it. It says connect your Facebook ad data with a few clicks. The agency preferred connector, phone support available. So you just authorize if you have that as an option. Oh, and there's a whole new product. It's a data explorer. It's in beta, so I haven't even seen that yet. That's going to be fun. So if you are using other metrics products, so this is Adobe Analytics by Supermetrics, AdRoll by Supermetrics. So if people are utilizing AdRoll to do their advertising, you can bring that in, all that data in without having to do Google Sheets. This is another one. This is one I was actually waiting for like a while, Amazon, because I have some clients who are writers and they sell books. And if you're doing Amazon advertising, you want to see how that's working and how that's bringing people to your website and to purchase your books. Bing ads is another one.
Does anyone buy ads on Bing? I guess they do.
Yeah, I mean, people do. People still do buy ads on Bing. I guess people do, I think their share right now is about 18% or somewhere around 20%. So people are utilizing it. It is a thing. Yeah, I'm not going to go through every single one of these. Instagram ads is another one. LinkedIn ads is another one. So it's different feeders, different products. Supermetrics is one of them. Reporting Ninja is another one. And they're all partners that can come in and help build the report in Data Studio. So, and try to see if I can get a show of hands of people who are watching. If this is something that you are considering now, jumping in and tooling around and trying to utilize. I know there's a few marketers on here. The report, I saw Rebecca seems very excited about it. And there were a couple of other people who said that they weren't using it yet, but me. All right, so I'm going to wrap up because we got 10 minutes left. So some key takeaways. Number one, and I know there's a few people who are sick of hearing me say that, but I'm going to repeat myself anyways, because it's really important. When you have a website and you have it connected to Google Analytics and you're thinking about what you want, what kind of data you want to take away, really understand what the process is and what the tasks are and what the goals are. Obviously, yes, the goals are to sell products. Lance said he's going to buckle down and explore. So I'd like to see what the outcome is of that and what the process, how you're doing with that. So what's your website doing for you, right? And what are the steps to getting that sale or selling your service or whatever that you're providing. Think about it from the perspective of the steps, and then think about it from the perspective of I want to make sure that my site is working properly. I want to make sure that it's functional and helpful. I want to make sure that my SEO is working, that I'm using the proper tags and words. I may need somebody to help me do that, or I may know what I'm doing as far as building out that site in that particular way. I want to make sure that people are spending time on my site, but getting what they need. So if they need to buy a product, if they need to ask a question, if they need to find out how to get in touch with me, how to contact me, that they're able to do that easily. Yeah, so it's not just all numbers, numbers, numbers. It's what is the process of being able to get to your goal? And then you can build out your reports from there. Yay. So there's that. I didn't see any other questions or comments. Next week, we are going to wrap up the Google Analytics. So I'm going to post out on known co-working and on digital media sync groups, see if there's any final questions as we close out this conversation at the end of the month. And then I think after that, I want to jump to some other topics. And actually, one of the topics that is very timely, and I've been looking at some data regarding, is things like this: online seminars and online webinars and networking and discussions, and utilizing the tools and understanding the timing and how everything kind of works together, and how you can run a webinar or a seminar or a networking event smoothly, both from the perspective of marketing it and then actually hosting it, what kind of tools to use for each of those components, and then what do you do afterwards? So there's a before, during, and after. So I think the month of June would be a really good time to re-engage with that particular topic. We actually engaged with that the very beginning of the businesses kind of pulling back and shutting down and going online. And we had this whole wonderful document that had all sorts of resources, and I'd like to revisit that. And so I'm hoping that other people are interested in revisiting that as well. So if you wanted to post a comment about that, and Chris, you're on with me. What do you think about that? It's like I'm putting her in the hot seat now.
Another world. I'm sorry.
We're talking about doing online seminars and doing online networking events, which I think we're still going to be doing for a while. I don't think that we are. I think a lot of us are still going to be working from home no matter what. And even so, when I'm in the office, I probably attend one or two online webinars or meetings or networking events, every couple of weeks. So I'll schedule something in where I'll sit at my desk and, I'll be learning about something.
I mean, it's a daily thing for me, constantly.
Yeah.
Improving my productivity with being a web designer, because I can just get into people's websites on screen with them, and we have not done this. Hey, Virginia.
I know. Virginia still on us saying hi. I was like, oh, I just saw the comment. I've been just yapping away.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to more collaboration in whatever, if it's real time or recorded time.
Yeah. and that's the thing too, right? There's a decision as far as you know, having something in real time, and then how do you distill that information? Do you let it run? Do you distill it? What do you do? And now, of course, with Samantha from or Sammy from Sam's Words, and you know, now that we love using the term micro content, right? So it's just like, how do you take the information that you just spent an hour conveying and kind of grabbing those little nuggets, those little pieces, and you know, bite size, and putting it back up as reminders. Um, and is really good, you know, nice little snippets, nice little pieces of content. So after next week, that's what we're going to be doing the next month, because there are a lot of moving parts. And right now, you know, this is helping me too, because I'm actually engaged in doing a lot of this as well, whether it's for myself or, you know, for clients or for people that I'm partnering with. So I think this is really good information for everybody to have. Yay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna
it,
go back and watch all three of these analytics.
oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they're forever, right?
They are forever. So, as I'm wrapping up the last couple of minutes, this digital media sync is now on Known Co-working Facebook page as an event, as a video live streaming event from 8:30 to 9:30 on Tuesday mornings. Um, Yep. So there's that, and then YouTube as well. So there's the YouTube. Oh, thank you, Rebecca, for saying that you will be watching this. So also, this will be, and I'm going to put this up on Known Coworking. And I will put the exact link up in just one moment. I have 3 minutes. So also look at the other online events that are coming up on Known. We've been doing pivot talks, which have actually been, I've gone back to look at the first 2 actually myself, because it really helps with asking questions about how people are pivoting. And it's really good to hear the stories about how people are able to move from, as Bob from Apex says, survive to thrive. So I've been looking at that as well, both for checking in with my own business and also with clients as well. And also right now, people in the greater New Haven area, how are they moving through this particular time? So that's on the calendar. And then Thursday, there's going to be another Known live event. The author Megan Wooden is going to be talking about publishing. So,
Sorry, the pivot talk on the escape room, Known pivot talk yesterday. That was amazing. They did a live escape room right.
I know. So I hope. Yeah, I want to go back. I think that we should do, and I think it was mentioned that we should have like a Known team do the Known escape, do an escape room.
That's so fun. Oh,
And
yeah.
I've done 2 of the actual escape rooms. I did the gallery and the
Yeah.
one, which was really neat. So, so yeah, up on the screen right now is where you can find the digital media sync. Google Analytics Part 3 is up, and then you know, we'll be posting these on the Known website as they come along as well, so you can definitely revisit them. So it is 9:30 now. That means that I have to go back to work. I have to leave all you beautiful people. But yeah, come back to the known co-working page, look at what else is coming up as far as online events. I'll be back next week. I'll be posting what's going to be coming up as well. So thank you very much for joining me. And please post in the comments any other topics that you would like to learn about as well. We run the gamut as far as the more technical aspects, the more marketing aspects, advertising, utilizing platforms, processes, everything. And I'm also going to have guests on as well. And if you would like to be a guest, if there's something that you would like to convey on Digital Media Sync, drop me a note on Digital Media Sync group. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.